Hello students, welcome back to English class. Today we'll begin with the new chapter of our treasure trove textbook. Name of chapter is Old Man at the Bridge, written by Ernest Hemingway. About the author, Ernest Hemingway is known for his economical and understated style and had a strong influence on the 20th century fiction. And his life is full of adventure and his public image later influenced later generation. So, Ernest Hemingway was born on July 21st, 1899 in Cicero, now in Oak Park, Illinois. Ernest Hemingway served in World War I and worked in journalism before publishing a story collection in Our Time. He has won Pulitzer Award in 1953 and in 1954 he won the Nobel Prize Award. He committed suicide on July 2nd, 1961. Now, about the important characters in the story. There are two main characters in the story. One is an old man who's of 76 years old coming from a place called San Carlos. And other is a soldier. Now about the setting of the story. The entire setting of the story is in a war ground. It was a time when Spanish Civil War was going on. And the story is in a form of conversation that happens between the soldier and an old man. And this conversation happens near at a bridge in a countryside. So the entire setting is based upon a war setting. It was a time when Spanish Civil War was going on. And style of the story, it is in a conversational mode or in the form of dialogue. That is, the entire story is based on the conversation or the dialogue that happens between the old man and the soldier. When the dialogue proceeds, as the dialogue proceeds, we come to know about the state or the condition of the old man and what finally happens to him. So, as the story proceeds, the theme of the story and the characteristic trait of the two characters involved in the conversation, that is the old man and the soldier, are revealed through the conversation. So, a very good description about the region, the situation of that region, everything is mentioned through this conversation that happens between them. So, now let's begin with the story Old Man at the Bridge, written by Ernest Hemingway. An old man with steel-rimmed spectacles and very dusty clothes sat by the side of the road. There was a pontoon bridge across the river and carts, trucks and men, women and children were crossing it. The mule-drawn carts staggered up the steep banks from the bridge with soldiers helping push against the spokes of the wheel. The trucks ground up and away heading out of it and the peasants plodded along in the ankle-deep dust, but the old man sat there without moving. He was too tired to go any further. So in the first paragraph itself, author gives a very good description about a war-stricken place. And what's the scene in that war-stricken place? A good description is given about that. So first he introduces about the main character of the story. I told you before, one of the important character in this story is an old man, right? A good description about the old man is given here. Old man with steel-rimmed spectacles and very dusty clothes sat by the side of the road. So what is the physical description given about this old man? He was wearing a steel-rimmed spectacle. Steel-rimmed means steel-framed spectacle. And he was having a very dusty clothes. And he was sitting by the side of the road. Dear students, whenever you write answer for the exam, maybe you are thorough with the summary of the story, but that alone will not help you. You have to write the key words which is given in your textbook as such. If the question is to describe the old man, some of the important points that need to come is steel-rimmed spectacle, that term need to be there. Then dusty clothes. Such point-wise keyword description should be there in your answer sheet, or else you will never fetch good marks. That is the style of ICSE evaluation. Clear? So, an old man with a steel-rimmed spectacle and very dusty clothes sat by the side of the road. There was a pontoon bridge across the river, and carts, trucks, men, women, and children were crossing it. So, author is telling, nearby where he was sitting, there was a pontoon bridge. You know what's meant by pontoon bridge? I have given a picture of pontoon bridge in the beginning of the chapter. That is what we call as pontoon bridge. Pontoon bridge is not a permanent bridge. It will be a temporary floating platform. And who were the people trying to cross it? Across the river, cars, trucks, men, women and children were crossing it. Because it is a war-stricken nation. So they are moving from one place to another. Because at their place where they are residing, the soldiers, maybe there is going to be artillery attack or any form of attack. So as a result, they are seeking a new place or a new refuge. The mule-drawn carts staggered up the steep bank from the bridge, with soldiers helping push against the spokes of the wheel. Even they were mule-drawn carts. Mule-drawn carts were staggering. Staggering means moving unsteadily up the steep bank from the bridge, with soldiers helping push against the spokes of the wheel. So when these mule-drawn carts found it difficult to move forward, what the soldiers did was they gave a push against the spoke of the wheel so that it can move faster. The trucks ground up and away, heading out of it all the peasants plodded along in ankle-deep dust. Not only mule-drawn carts, there were also trucks with many peasants inside. The trucks ground up and away, heading out of it, all the peasants plodded along in the ankle-deep dust. Even the peasants were found plodding. Plodding means walking slowly with ankle-deep dust because they had been walking for a long distance. As a result, now their leg is covered with dust. But the old man sat there without moving. So all were moving from that place to some other. They were trying to seek refuge in some other place, to a safe place. Whereas, what was this old man doing? He was sitting there without moving. He was too tired to go any further. Reason was that he was so very tired. He's an old man after all. He could not help moving. He was so tired, so he sat there itself because he could not walk any farther. So what's the scene found here? In the beginning, the author has introduced to us to that old man or the main character of the story. Then author is also giving a wide picture of that war-stricken place. There is a pontoon bridge. Carts, trucks, men, women and children were trying to cross it. Many people were trying to cross the bridge. Also, there were mule-drawn carts trying to cross it with the goods and other items on its back. And also there were trucks. Then also we can find soldiers moving or walking slowly with ankle-deep dust. And who was the only person who was not walking then? It was the old man. It was my business to cross the bridge, explore the bridge head beyond, and find out to what point the enemy had advanced. Now, the author is telling about his role in the story. It was my business to cross the bridge. So, being a soldier, I told you, two important characters are there. One is this old man and the other is a soldier. So, what is the duty of the soldier? He is telling that it was his business. It was his business to cross the bridge. He was supposed to cross the bridge and to reach the other head and explore the bridge head beyond and find out, and he should find out up to what point the enemy had advanced. Where is the present position of the enemy? Or up to what point the enemy troop has advanced. And I did this and returned over the bridge. So after doing his duty, he returned towards the bridge. So when he came back, what's seen at the bridge? There were not so many carts and very few people on foot. But the old man, he was still there. So when he returned, what he found over there was almost all the carts have gone and only few people were walking, but the old man was still over there. So where maybe the carts and the people going? Yes, the carts and people are fleeing from their city. That is, the city is actually San Carlos. You'll come to know about it later. Because the enemy forces are approaching towards the city of San Carlos. And this old man also belonged to that city. He was also supposed to move along with the other people to some other safe place. But the old man could not do because he was so tired. Where do you come from? I asked him. From San Carlos, he said and smiled. So, author, when he returned, he happened to find the man still near the bridge. So, he's moving towards the old man and he's asking, where do you come from? I asked him. So, the old man is giving reply. From San Carlos, he said and smiled. That was his native town, and so it gave him pleasure to mention it and he smiled. So, author is telling. Maybe narrator is telling that was his native town and he was very proud to say that he belongs to that town. That is why he smiled when he gave the name San Carlos. I was taking care of animals, he explained. Then he is telling. Over there, my job was to look after the animals. Oh, I said, not quite understanding. So the soldier merely said, oh. And the soldier was thinking, why this man is talking about animals when the entire country is burning to save themselves from this war. Yes, he said. I stayed, you see, taking care of animals. I was the last one to leave the town of San Carlos. So again is telling. Actually, I was staying there. I didn't move from my place. I was still looking after my animals. And I was the last one to leave the town. Means that he left the town not out of his not willingly, but someone else has forced him to move the town. That is why he became the last man to leave the town. He did not look like a shepherd nor a herdsman. And I looked at his black dusty clothes and his grey dusty face and his steel rimmed spectacles and said, what animals were they? So author looked at him once more, narrator looked at him once more to check whether he is a shepherd. So looking at his, from his way of dressing, what he realizes that no, he's not a shepherd nor a herdsman. He was wearing a black dusty clothes and grey dusty face. His entire face was covered with dust. So it was grey dusty now, his face. And a steel rimmed spectacle and said, what animals were they? So author is asking, what are the animals or what were the animals you looked after? Various animals, he said and shook his head. I had to leave them. So he was telling, I had various animals with me, he said. He shook his head as if he was really depressed about it. I had to leave them. So finally he's telling, what else to do? I had to leave them over there. So this very dialogue of this old man, that is, various animals, I had to leave them. It speaks the relationship between the old man and his animals. It speaks volumes about the warmth and affection the old man had for his animals. Old man is really sad and can move no more than the pontoon bridge because he is worried about the well-being of his animals. So that is the type of relation he shared with his animals. We'll come to know about which are the animals and what are they later. I was watching the bridge and the African-looking country of Ebro Delta and wondering how long now it would be before he would see the enemy, and listening all the while for the first noises that would signal the ever mysterious event called contact. And the old man still sat there. So author is telling, I was watching the bridge and the African-looking country of the Ebro Delta and wondering how long now it would be before we would see the enemy, and listening all the while for the first noises that would signal the ever mysterious event called contact. We know that he is a soldier. So as a soldier, what was his duty? It was to keep watching on the approaching enemy artillery forces. Isn't it? So he was watching the bridge and wondering how long now, by what time the enemy would advance to that place. And he was eagerly listening all the while for the first noise or the first attack, which we call as contact. And the enemies referred are the fascist artillery forces who has come to attack who are approaching to the city of San Carlos. And that was the reason why soldiers near the bridge. But the old man, with no purpose, he was still sitting near the bridge. Reason was that he was very tired. Mentally also he was really depressed, thinking about the animals. So author is asking before a few minutes before when they were having conversation, he had said that he was duty was to look after the animals over there, right? So author is asking, what animals were there? I asked. There were three animals altogether, he explained. There were two goats and a cat, and then there were four pairs of pigeons. He was so excited to give reply or to describe about his animals. So when author asked him which were the animals you looked after there, he was giving reply. Which were the animals? Two goats, cat, and four pigeons. Actually, the goats, cats, and pigeons in this story is used as there is a symbolic meaning associated with these animals. Symbolic meaning of these animals you will come to know when the story progresses. I'm just giving you a hint about it. And you have to leave them. I asked. So author is asking. So it means that you have left all the animals there. Your goats, cats, and pigeons you have left there? Yes, because of the artillery. The captain told me to go because of the artillery. So the old man is telling, yeah, I was forced to leave them there. It was all because of this artillery, of this war. Captain forced me to leave the place saying that there is going to be an artillery attack over here. And you have no family? I asked, watching the far end of the bridge where a few carts were hurrying down the slope of the bank. So it is this conversation the conversation that proceeds gives us a very good description about the life of this old man and the pitiable plight of the place, as well as how much war affects the life of people, especially helpless people like this old man and so. So he's asking, and you have no family. So he's asking, so are you a man without any family? At the same time, he was watching towards that bridge. What is the reason? In order to know up to what point the enemy troop has advanced. Being a dutiful soldier, the first and the foremost duty is to know about it, right? It is not to converse with this old man. And at the same time, he is going on with the conversation with this old man. No, he said, only the animals, I stated. The cat, of course, will be all right. A cat can look out for itself. But I cannot think what will become of the others. So when author is asking, so are you a man without any family? He's telling, no, I don't have a family. Then again, he started talking about his animals. So first of all, he started with the cat. He's telling to the author, cat of course will be all right. I don't have much worries about my cat. Because cat can look after itself. But I cannot think what will become of the others. Because the nature of cat is so. It is capable of looking after itself. So he's telling, now I'm really bothered about other animals. I don't know what will happen to others. So here it is a war-stricken nation. So author divides the type of people present there by using the symbol of cat, goat and pigeon. So now I'll tell you about cat. So in a war-stricken nation, according to author, there are three categories of people. One category is just like cats. Cat, as what this old man says is that I don't have much botheration about cat because it can look after itself. Similarly, there are few people in a war-stricken country. There is some categories of people. They does not need the help of anybody to survive. Youth especially. They are capable of surviving by themselves. They need not seek the assistance of others in order to lead their lives. So he's telling the cat, I don't have much botheration of the cat. It will look after itself. So even we can symbolize it as youthful people, young and energetic ones who are able to survive themselves in their own style when an artillery attack or a war happens in the country. So the cat symbolizes such people who does not need anybody else to survive. Clear? So a cat can look out of itself. I cannot think what will become of others. Now, which are the other animals remaining? Goats and pigeons. Symbolism of goats and pigeons, I'll let you know later. So again the conversation continues. What politics have you? I asked. So, author narrator is asking, what politics have you? To which political party you belong to? I am without politics, he said. I am 76 years old and I have come 12 kilometers now and think now I can go no further. This is not a good place to stop, I said. If you can make it, there are trucks up the road where it forks to Totosa. So, narrator is asking, to which political party you belong to? So, what's the reply given by this man? Sorry, I'm a man without politics. And he's telling, right now I'm 76 years old and there is no more use in involving in any of the politics when one is waiting for one's fate. And I think I can go no further. So author is telling, when he said that I cannot go any further, author is telling, no, you shouldn't stop here. There are tracks which is going to, which forks to Totosa, which forks for means which is directed to Totosa. You can move in one of those trucks. I will wait a while, he said, and then I will go. Where do the trucks go? So he's chilling. Old man is chilling. Realizing that the soldier wants this man to move away from this place soon, he's chilling. I will wait a while. I'll sit here for a while again, and then I'll go. Where do the trucks go? So he's asking, where can I reach if I move in one of those trucks? Towards Barcelona, I told him. I know no one in that direction, he said. But thank you very much. Thank you again very much. So he's telling, if I go to Barcelona, what will be my plight? I don't know anyone over there. Then he's telling to soldier. He's a very courteous man. He's telling, thank you very much. Thank you again very much. He looked at me blankly and tiredly, then said, having to share his worry with someone. The cat will be all right, I'm sure. There is no need to be unquiet about the cat. But the others? Now, what do you think about the others? So the old man again started his conversation. He's telling to narrator, no, I don't bother about my cats. He is amidst the war-stricken place. Even then, he's not bothered about his plight or his fate. He's totally bothered about his animals. That shows his deep affection for the animals. So again, he's telling to the soldier, narrator, I'm sure the cat will look after itself. But what is your opinion about other animals? What do you think about the others? Others here are goats and pigeons. Why? They'll probably come through it. All right. You think so? Why not? I said, watching the far bank where now there were no cards. So author, in order to console the man, author is sharing, why should you be bothered about those animals? They'll probably come through it. All right. They will be able to survive the war. You think so? So the old man is asking, do you think so? So narrator, in order to console this old man, is telling, why not? I said, watching the far bank where now there were no cards. So at the same time, his eyes were glued to which direction? To the direction of the bridge. Watching up to what point the enemies have advanced. But what will they do under the artillery when I was told to leave because of the artillery? So the old man is not satisfied with the answer. He's still worried. He's asking, but what will they do under the artillery when the war happens at San Carlos? What can my animals do? When I was told to leave because of the artillery, even I was forced to leave the place because of the war. Did you leave the door cage unlocked? I asked. So now, in order to console the man, narrator is asking another question. How did you keep your doves there? Did you open the cage or did you lock it when you were coming? Did you leave it unlocked? Yes. Then they'll fly. So narrator is consoling the man by saying that then you need not bother about your doves. They will definitely survive because they can fly. They can fly anywhere when the war happens, and so they can save themselves. So about the pigeons or the doves. Symbolism used is dove here symbolizes peace and harmony. And the fact that they can fly away from the war can be used to refer to those refugees. Some people were found moving in mule-drawn carts, trucks. Peasants were plodding. We came to know about those people who were evacuating the place in the beginning, no? So this pigeon or the dove symbolizes those people who are moving away, who are fleeing from the place to a safer place because of the war. So, in a war-stricken country, we can find three categories of people. These three categories of people are symbolized using three animals. First one was cat. Cat symbolizes youthful people or those people who do not need the help of anyone else to survive. Now again dove. Dove stands for those people who has a yearning for peace and harmony and thus flee away from a war-stricken ground, just like the peasants or the people who were moving in the mule-drawn carts and the trucks, keeping themselves away from the war-stricken place. So, pigeons are used to symbolize all those people, that is refugees who flee from the war to the safer place. Yes, certainly they'll fly, but the others? It's better not to think about the others, he said. So now he's quite okay with the pigeons also. They'll fly. But what about the others? Which is the other animal referred? It's goats, right? It's better not to think about them. I don't know what will happen to them. It's better I don't think about them. If you rested, I'd go, I urged. Get up and try to walk now. So, author didn't want to speak about those other animals because he know that there is no way for those animals to save themselves. So he's telling, if you're rested, I would go. I urged. So he's asking, if you have taken rest, better you can move away from here. Get up and try to walk now because he know that it is not at all a safe place over there. I was taking care. Thank you, he said, and got to his feet, swayed from side to side, and then sat down backwards in the desk. So he tried to walk, hearing the words of the narrator. But when he started moving, what happened was he started swaying from one side to side, and finally he sat back in the desk. I was taking care of animals, he said dully, but no longer to me. I was only taking care of animals. There was nothing to do about him. It was Easter Sunday and the fascists were advancing towards the Ebro. So, to tell you about, so we have found that author gave reply about what will be the plight of the cat as well as dove because he was sure that they can survive by themselves. But when it came to speak about the goats, narrator didn't reply. What narrator was telling is that better you leave the place. This is not a safe place to sit. Right. Reason was that he know very well that goats, they cannot survive. They cannot withstand war. Most probably, they will have to sacrifice themselves in the war ground because they are very much dependent on other people. So here actually goats symbolize this old man itself who is finally reconciling himself to his impending death or who is reconciling himself to his fate. Old man, when the peasants, when other people were able to flee themselves from that place, this old man was not able to do because he is old. He was dependent on others. As a result, he is not able to walk. He is not able to escape himself from that war ground. So goats represent or goats symbolizes old man like this man here. All the old people like this old man whom author has introduced in this story. So he symbolizes, this is a symbolic element used to describe the plight of old men in the war. It is these old people who suffers a lot in a war-stricken country. That is what author symbolizes through the imagery or through the symbol of goat. The old man is a victim of war and like the goat, he is not able to save himself from this war. There was nothing to do about him. It was Easter Sunday and the fascists were advancing towards the Ebro. So that day it was actually Easter Sunday and the fascist too were advancing towards the Ebro River. It was a grey overcast day with a low ceiling, so the planes were not up. And that day was a very cloudy day. As a result, the planes were not found. And that was a fact, and the fact that the cats know how to look after themselves was all the good luck the old man would ever have. So narrator is telling, because that day was a cloudy day and because it was Easter Sunday, maybe he can live for one more day. But the next day, when the sky becomes clear and when the planes will be able to take off, definitely the war will happen. And his plight and his fate will come very close to him, or he might die very soon. That is, he is waiting for his death. Definitely, it will happen very soon. Narrator know it very well. So, author is telling his luck is only for that day. So, the last line author is telling that, and the fact that the cats know how to look after themselves was all the good luck that the old man would ever have. So, what is that good luck mentioned here? That is, good luck is that the old man can live on the hope that the cat can look after itself, even in the adverse circumstance. And another lucky thing for that man on that day is that the sky is overcast with clouds, so the enemy planes will not fly on that day. So, these are said to be good luck for the old man for that day. But is it actually a good luck? No, it's not, because it is only based on circumstance of that day. The next day, maybe the artillery force will advance to the city, and he will not be lucky anymore. He will have to court his death very soon if he is to be found in that city, or if he is to be found near the bridge or so. So here we find the story ending with a pathetic note, or making the readers feel pathetic about the situation of the old man. Or it gives a very clear picture about how much people suffer, innocent people like this old man suffered in a war-stricken country. We always glorify war, telling about the benefits reaped by the victorious country. Whereas this is the plight of the people in a war-stricken country. That is clearly picturized by our author Ernest Hemingway. So now let's go through the theme of this story. The important themes covered are resignation, depression and impending death. I'll tell you what's resignation first. Resignation means resigning to one's own fate. Here the old man is finally, we find him resigning to his fate as a casualty of war. When soldier is concerned about the safety of the old man and asks him to walk up the road and catch a ride to Barcelona, he tells him that he is an old man of 76 and he is too tired to go any further. Which indicates that, or which is a hint given to the soldier that you need not force me anymore. I am willing to resign to my fate. Got the point? Like a goat, he is finally willing to sacrifice or resign himself to the hands of fate. Then another theme covered is depression, which is quite normal in all the war-stricken nation. Here, when the narrator is really tensed about the safety of this old man is worried about the fate of his animals. So thinking about the animals, he can't get rid of the thought of the safety of the animals. And that creates depression in him. Just like people are very much concerned about their family in a war-stricken country. Then another quite normal thing which we can find in a war-stricken nation, or the theme is impending death. That is, when there is war, one cannot expect at what time one might die. Probability to die is more there because it is war that's going on in the country. So at the close of the story, we find the narrator bemoaning, thinking about the plight of the old man. Soldier feels pity for him, and we find him saying that there was nothing to do about it. Same is the plight of every people in a war-stricken nation. If you're caught up in the ground where the war is going on, we cannot predict what will happen to you. At any time, you might court death, or you're waiting for your impending death. So that is also picturized in a very good manner by the author in a story, Old Man at the Bridge. So I hope you have understood, you have got a good understanding about the story, but I'm not satisfied about the way you answer the questions when I keep tests. So the next class will be about how to answer properly and how to get good marks for the literature paper for the board exam. So we will have a good discussion about the workbook questions so that you can fare well for your exam. So, till we meet again, goodbye.